Why did Commander Cody hate Order 66? Although we all know that Cody executed Order 66, did you know he was actually annoyed by it? Well, the reason why is actually pretty funny. Moments before Order 66, Cody had handed Obi-Wan his lightsaber that he accidentally dropped earlier. Because of this, he was angry that the order didn't come through before this, because now Obi-Wan actually had a chance to defend himself. Despite this, however, Cody still executed the order and didn't hesitate against his former friend. What did the clone troopers do right after Order 66? During Order 66, we all know that the clones wiped out the Jedi, but let's just say some clone troopers took it one step further than that. The clones that were on the planet of Kashyyyk decided to kill every Wookiee that they saw, until eventually Commander Cody and hundreds of other troopers joined them. Once they arrived, they then took any surviving Wookiees and forced them into slavery, even the women and the children. From there, most of the Wookiees were either used as test subjects for experiments or were forced to work until their death. Safe to say that this ended up being a miserable life for them. What was Palpatine's Order 99? Although we all know of Order 66, there was another order Palpatine created called Order 99. However, unlike majority of the other orders, this order affected the battle droids, not the clones. When executed, it would allow every single battle droid to be free, and to no longer be withheld by their separatist programming. Following this, the droids were then able to do as they wished, and could even join the Republic if they really wanted to. This order was executed once as a test, and as a result, a battle droid started to heal injured clone troopers around him instead of attacking them. What did clone troopers do in their free time? Although clone troopers spent majority of their time on the battlefield, they actually enjoyed a few activities in their spare time. When traveling off-world, a few of the clones enjoyed reading books as well as listening to music and playing darts together. This would pass time before they'd await further orders to get back to fighting. However, when they were stationed on Coruscant, their activities would be completely different. On Coruscant, they spent majority of their time going to different bars and nightclubs, one of which being the famous clone bar called 79s. When at the bar, they'd usually watch sports games and get drunk together. The best part was the Republic covered all their expenses, so the clones were then able to get as many drinks as they wanted. What was Palpatine's Order 37? We all know of Order 66, but did you know that Palpatine had another command called Order 37? Well, this order was almost as bad as Order 66, but instead of targeting the Jedi, this one targeted local civilians. This order was only used when the Republic needed to capture a criminal, and until that criminal was caught, the clones would then arrest a group of nearby citizens and keep them as hostages. However, if the criminal was never turned in, then the clones would shoot down all the innocent civilians and kill them as a punishment. From there, they'd refuse to release the hostages' bodies to any family members, and instead, they'd burn them down to hide any evidence. How many total clone troopers were created? In Attack of the Clones, Lama Su tells Obi-Wan,
200,000 units are ready, with 1 million more well on the way.
If by units he means clone battalions, then this total number might surprise you a little bit. Every battalion of clones consisted of 576 total troopers. By doing the math, that means that at this point, 115,200,000 clone troopers were already made, and an additional 576 million were on the way. By adding these two together, that means that the Republic had a grand total of 691,200,000 clone troopers that served in the war. How are the clone troopers punished? We all know that the clones were some of the most elite soldiers, but let's just say their punishments were pretty brutal. When they were on Kamino, they had to go through different tests, but if they failed or showed bad behavior, they would be sent into isolation. These clones would be trapped in a pod for many years, and it's even rumored that after some time, the Kaminoans would decide to secretly assassinate them. However, this rule changed when the Jedi came into the picture, and they enforced it that if a clone failed, they would just be sent to maintenance duty. One clone that we know entered maintenance duty was none other than Clone 99. Now, as much as that was a rough way for the clones to be punished, I want to know something from you. You're probably a Star Wars fan if you're watching this video, right? Well, throughout all my years of being a fan myself, one thing that was super important to me was collecting, especially Star Wars wall art. Thankfully, Displate has been the perfect solution to that, but let's just say this isn't just any ordinary art like paper posters or canvas prints. Displate is a unique metal poster which is made for your passions, whether it's Star Wars, Marvel, Call of Duty, or even Netflix. The good news is, those aren't the only options. There are over 2 million artworks available to choose from, all from your favorite licensed brands, so you have loads of options. All you have to do is just dive in, Pick your art, place your order, and boom, it'll arrive in just 4 to 5 business days. Once it does arrive, the first thing you'll notice is that not only does it have its own unique boxing, but the big thing is that it's completely safe for your walls and it only takes seconds to put up. Each display comes with its own magnet kit, so everything you need comes in the box, so you don't have to even worry, you don't have to drill holes or anything, all it is just a sticker leaf and a magnet. From there, you just attach the magnet to the leaf and then place your poster right on top of them. It's as easy as that. What you see me have right here is the brand new display Textra, and it includes incredible tactile textures, 3D effects, and even matte and gloss effects if you want. You can just notice with these posters how vibrant these colors are and how much they just pop out of the poster. Now, if you want to grab your own display, you can now with this link right here that you can find below in the description. Or you can use code VADER for 27% off 1 to 2 displays or 37% off 3 or more displays. Trust me, it'll be a fine addition to your collection. Now, let's get back into some lore. Did you know the Empire had their own version of the Bad Batch? Although we all know of Clone Force 99, Task Force 99 was the Empire's version. Task Force 99, or also known as the Scar Squadron, had its own group of 7 elite stormtroopers that specialized in different areas. Just like the Bad Batch, there was one trooper who specialized in strength, just like Wrecker, one that was known as a squad's engineer, like Tech, a sniper, just like Crosshair, and a leader of the group identical to Hunter. This group was not only recognized as one of the deadliest squadrons, but they were also under the direct command of Darth Vader himself. How did Commander Wolffe lose his eye? One noticeable thing about Commander Wolffe was that he lost his right eye, but have you ever wondered as to how this happened? Well, this answer might surprise you. On a mission with Jedi Master Plo Koon, Wolffe and Plo encountered no other than Asajj Ventress. As they fought her, Plo got separated from them, which left Wolffe all by himself with Ventress. Because of this, Ventress rushed right at Wolffe, and as she jumped in the air, she then slashed her lightsaber right across his right eye. So similar to Anakin, the two of them both received their scar from no other than Asajj Ventress. Why does Captain Rex have tally marks on his helmet? One common question is why Captain Rex had different markings all across his armor. While many fans think that it's from all the droids he killed, it's actually not. In Star Wars Rebels, Rex mentions himself that unlike the other clones, he never counted the amount of droids that he killed. Not only this, but if these numbers were for every droid, then there would be way more markings than what we only see him have. This leads us to believe that these numbers were either the amount of battles that he won or how many of his brothers that he lost. What was Clone Order 65? Out of the 150 clone orders, we all know of Order 66, but what about Order 65? Well, this order served as the complete opposite of Order 66 and was created by Palpatine in case the Republic or the Jedi ever found out about these orders. Order 65 was placed in the event that if the Senate declared the Supreme Chancellor to be unfit for power, the clones would then be in charge of removing the Chancellor from office. If the Chancellor tried to put up a fight, then the clones would be tasked to execute him immediately. This order was of course never used and was only created if the other orders were discovered. Why did the clones switch to Phase 2 armor? During the Clone Wars, one noticeable change between the clones' armor is when they transitioned from Phase 1 to Phase 2. But why did this happen? Well, to honor Jango Fett's Mandalorian heritage, Phase 1 was inspired by Mandalorian armor, however, it wasn't designed with Beskar. This caused the clones to be in much discomfort and it became extremely heavy to wear. Because of this, they then switched to Phase 2 armor after the first year of the war. Phase 2 was both lighter and had stronger plating than Phase 1. However, although it had many improvements, there was one clone who preferred the craftsmanship of Phase 1 instead, so to counter this, he welded both phases of armor together. This clone was of course no other than Captain Rex. What was the creepiest thing about Order 66? Although we all know that Order 66 was successful, did you know that the clones did something extremely creepy? Well, once the order was given, a group of 5 clones disguised themselves with fake Jedi robes on. This squad was called Decoy Squad 5, and their mission was to pretend like they were Jedi so they could prevent anyone from knowing about what was happening inside of the Jedi Temple. However, what's even crazier was that these weren't normal clones. Years ago, Palpatine himself requested for this group to have both quick reflexes and to share similar traits to that of a Jedi. Unfortunately for this squad though, they were each killed by both Obi-Wan and Yoda when they arrived at the temple. If you enjoyed this lore compilation about the clones and you want to learn more about Luke Skywalker's best stories, then make sure to click the video in the middle of the screen right here.